Welcome back, everyone. This is Scootsy16 with another game from the Elite Discord tournament. We finally made it our way through all 8 teams in this tournament. We've seen a game from each one of them. Some exciting action coming from all 8 of these teams, and these games have been really wild. If you've missed any of these, make sure that you are subscribed so that you can get the updates as they come through and are posted. But definitely go back and watch some of them. Some really great offensive matchups, some really great pitching output or performances, some incredible unique games that I don't feel like I've ever seen, and just kind of baseball in general. And this has been really fun. So we're going to keep that momentum going with another game, a matchup between the Thumpers and the Overdogs. The last time they played each other, the Thumpers did come out victorious in a 10-4 battle against the Overdogs. So we are going to be heading over to see what this next matchup is going to look like, starting with the Thumpers. Their recommended lineup is going to start off with the hot-hitting Caleb Thompson, who ended up hitting 2 home runs in the first game of this entire tournament. But he's already locked in, has Ace Exterminator. We'll have to take a look at the Overdogs and see if they have an ace pitching for this one as well. But Caleb Thompson's going to be starting things off at third base, followed by Ryan Goodwin. Ryan's going to be playing left field for them once again. It's the only position he can play, as he is a weak fielder, but a really great bat in the lineup. Next is Archibald Sormore. Archie did not have a great game his last time out, so he's going to hope to kind of press the reset button heading into this one, as he had a little bit of a break. And as he talks it over with the rest of his team and his manager, trying to figure out what he can do differently here. He's going to be in the DH spot today. Ginger Munster comes in. Ginger, I believe, is starting today, which she did not do last game, if I'm trying to recall correctly. And Ginger actually was the 3rd pick in the draft for the Thumpers, and she's playing right field today. She also has Ace Exterminator, so we'll see if that kicks in for her the way that it did for Thompson in that first game. Next, Maxton Myers is back in the lineup. He's in the playing first base in the 5 spot today. Next, we have Joe Tent, who's going to be coming in tense, and he's playing his secondary position of second base. Now, he's already going to have a hit to his fielding, and he is looking pretty rough for the wear, if you will, with just that power in blue and everything else is in red. So we'll see if he holds up. If not, you might see Britt Luna come back out, but she's tense on the bench today as well. In the 7th spot is Vip Austin. He also hit 2 home runs as well as Thompson, so they did not jump him up in the order at all. He's still in the 7th spot, and he is locked in for this game as well. Next, you see Francesca Brown. She was a bit of a menace in the last game. We'll see if she has that same type of attitude throughout today's game as well. And then in the 9th spot is Isabella Bullseye. She did not get a chance to play in that last game. She was drafted in the 17th round for the Thumpers, and she really shows up with her defense with that arm and some really solid contact, but not much power for Isabella, and she is decently fast, but not too quick. So she's going to be holding up the bottom of the order as a defensive option for them, and we'll see what she can do with the bat. Pitching today is Les Ventura, the 2nd round pick for the Thumpers, and Les here has a maxed out pick officer, so we don't expect that anyone will be running on the combo of Ventura and Brown, who has a really great arm behind the plate as well. Les also has an elite slider, which plays up, even though the junk is just a bit above average. Really, he's going to be leaning on his velocity with 2 fastballs, the 4-seam and the 2-seam. And then with that elite slider, that 4th pitch is going to be his changeup. He's got some pretty solid accuracy. He's throwing as a righty, so he should be able to hold up pretty well. But we know that all these teams in this entire tournament are going to be fighting for a really to try and knock these pitchers out as quickly as possible. He's an A, so let's take a look at what the Overdogs are going to be bringing out. for this game. Seeing the suggested lineup, Finley Pickles is still going to be leading off. He had a really tough game, so he is tense for this one. We'll see if he can right the ship and figure things out heading into game two. Next is Franklin Luncaster, who will once again be playing his secondary position of left field. Now, he does not have very good fielding whatsoever, but that did not negatively impact the team last time. We'll see if he can keep things up in left field for them. Next is Skyla Luna, who they really need to lean on as that reliable captain for their team. She was their number one pick for a reason, and we saw her show up pretty interestingly well as she faced off twice against Bruce Wishywash or Wishwash and struck out and then hit a home run. So we'll see if she can continue that bit of a hot streak. And the fourth spot is Alex Hazard, who reached base every at bat for the Overdogs in the last game. We'll see if he can keep that hot streak as he is locked in. And you see that contact is probably sitting right at about 99, while that power is looking at about 104. So, or 102, or right above the 100 mark there. So that might be their key to success today, is whether Alex Hazard can keep up his hot streak. DHing today is Toothsome Reed, a great hitter. He's a good fielder as well, but they're going to keep him in the DH spot as he is a primary shortstop. And we see that Jaramillo is going to be playing second base once again. So we'll see how he can do today in the fifth spot. Six is Ellie Howard, who was one of the only other players that kind of figured things out with that RBI hero trait. So we'll see if she can keep that going today as well. Third base is Isaiah Rasmussen. And again, he was all about the power. He's got that solid arm, and then just kind of intermittent for everything else. We'll see if an off-speed hitter plays a factor in this game against that elite slider from Les Ventura on the Thumpers. In the eighth spot, Malachi Fleshman. I expected more from him. He did not have a great game. He is still neutral with his mojo, but maybe he can figure some things out. And then to round out the lineup is the number 9 hitter, Albert Jaramillo, who's going to be playing second base. Has a really great second baseman, weak arm, a bit slow, and he's a good hitter as well. And then to pitch in the second game of this tournament is going to be Betwixt Rosales. Betwixt was drafted in the 9th round, also has an elite slider, and about the same for the velocity, junk, and accuracy, all sitting right at about the same attributes. Now, he also has 2 fastballs, a 4-seam and a 2-seam, as well as 2 off-speed pitches, a curveball and a slider. That elite slider does not play up that much as it's going to get its minimum buff, but we'll see how that plays against that very potent Thumpers offense. So, after playing in the first game, watching the rest of the games in this tournament, can the Overdogs make an adjustment? Do the Thumpers feel confident about their lineup and what they can do today? We'll have to see as we get into game 2 of the quarterfinals in this Elite Discord tournament. So I hope you all are having fun. If there's any players that stand out to you that have been your favorite in this tournament so far, please let me know in the comments section. I would love to hear some of the players that have been your favorite to watch in this tournament so far. I have a couple of my favorites. We'll keep those to myself for now. But here we go. Caleb Thompson confidently walking up to the plate. He hit half of his at bats last time, and 2 of those hits were home runs for a total of 6 RBIs. I believe he hit a grand slam, if I'm not mistaken, and he lines that ball right up the middle, but it stays up for Howard to get underneath it for out number 1. Ryan Goodwin, believe he went 2 for 3 in that game last time out. You're going to have to forgive me on some of these stats. I'm going off of what I see there, but he gets that base hit right in front of Pickles there in right field. So the first base runner reaches for the Thumpers. And here comes Archie, who had a bit of a tough game. We'll see if he can sort things out. And Betwixt already has to come into the stretch. And that ball grounds out to Luna. Luna tosses to Jaramillo, and that ball's not going to get to first fast enough for the fielder's choice at second base. So now we have 2 outs And here comes Ginger Munster. This is her first at-bat of the tournament. And again, Ace Exterminator does come into play in this matchup against betwixt Rosales. So who can win this one? It's an 0-2 count already. Dropped that one low and below the zone. And she fights off a pitch there. Still, we got a 1-2 count still. And she swings through that for strike 3. So betwixt Rosales gives up one single and then induces a fielder's choice before getting out of the inning unscathed. So this is the Overdogs' opportunity where they were able to hold that Thumpers offense down for 1 inning. So can they try and take an early lead against Les Ventura? That ball goes right back to the pitcher. Easy toss to first for out number 1. So here comes Franklin Lancaster. I am excited to see him using clutch, but it hasn't really come into play for this game or this series so far. 1-1 count for him. That ball goes right back up the middle, and Les is not able to get his glove on that one, and Lancaster gets the base hit. Now, as we talked about, Ventura does have that maxed out pick officer, so we don't expect even the fastest runners on the Overdogs to be moving, and if they do, they'll be very foolish to do so. Great arm behind the plate in Francesca Brown as well. And here comes Skyla Luna, who was able to get the best of their ace starter in their S-tier wish-wash, but she's not able to do anything here as she flies out to left field lazily for out number 2. Now, her first at-bat in the first game didn't go very well either, but she was able to make some adjustments. We'll see if she's able to do that in her next at-bat. And here comes Alex Hazard, who has not gotten out yet in this series, batting 1,000. Swings through that. He's down 0-2 with 2 outs. Fights that pitch off. Ball just outside. Alex is being real picky there. And he swings through that one for strike 3, and they get out of the inning, and he loses his mojo, so he's going back down to neutral. And both teams get a hit in the first inning, but not able to do much else. So we shift back over to that potent Thumpers offense, and with Max Demeyer's first pitch Slayer, is he going to get anything? No, he gets an inside ball before he throws a pitch in the strike zone. And quickly down 1-2. Throws that one probably too close to the middle of the plate, but he's able to get away with it. And they're trying to work his pitch count up, so they're just fighting off these pitches in the zone that they don't like, trying to find one they do. And he did like that one, but Lancaster able to range a little bit to his left or to his right to get that one for out number 1. And here comes a tense Joe Tent. Did not have a great game. But he did bat 500, so I'm not sure what left him tense. If you do recall from the previous game, let me know. But that's not going to help him get out of it as he swings through strike 3 for out number 2. So here comes the other hot hitter, Vip Austin. 2 home runs, both solo shots, a la Fisher from the last game. If you were watching the Buzzwings, they both kind of did the same thing, and he gets a base hit on that one through the left side for the first runner. I'm sorry, the first runner of this inning, but the second hit of the game for the Thumpers. So can Austin try and make something happen here? And Rosales is going to keep his eye on him, already tossing over to first once. That ball grounds out to second base for out number 3. Easy toss from second to first, 4-3 to end the inning. So another hit, nothing else. And after seeing that offensive outpour from the Thumpers in the first game, scoring 10 runs in 6 innings, they already gone through 2 innings without getting a run across yet. So we'll see if the Overdogs are able to keep that offense down while they're trying to figure it out on offense themselves. They did score 4 runs, but it just was not nearly enough to keep up with the Thumpers. And Ventura's feeling pretty pumped after that strikeout. And here comes Ellie Howard, who had a really solid game, hitting in 3 of those 4 runs for the Thumpers. Or I'm sorry, for the Overdogs. And she gets a base hit over the first baseman that goes into the corner. But that corner in right field is not favorable to the batters, as that ball just kind of ricochets back to the fielder, and Munster was able to get to it quickly and get it in. So even with that great speed, a hit into the corner is only a single for Howard. And here comes Isaiah Rasmussen. Does have off-speed hitter at tier 2. We'll see if he can take advantage of that, those off-speed pitches that Ventura's throwing out there. And it's a 1-2 count with one out, fighting off another pitch there. And both of these pitchers are having to work, but they're finding success as Rasmussen strikes out, and he loses some mojo, so I think he's down to 10th now. And here comes Malachi Fleshman, who, again, did not have a great game at the plate. We'll see if he can right the ship here. Definitely in a position where the Overdogs are trying to take advantage of any opportunity they can get, but he's down 0-2 and swings through that one, strike 3. So, Ventura has been able to match inning for inning with Rosales, and this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup if it continues to go like this. Which one of these pitchers is going to make the first mistake? That ball, unfortunately, Jaramillo is not able to get to it in time, and it squeaks past the second baseman for a base hit into center field. And the last thing you want is a runner on base when Caleb Thompson comes up. The first, the number 1 hitter in the lineup comes up, active ace exterminator, and that ball pops up. Alex is standing right there against and he catches it, almost falling into the dugout as he was able to stay in play, reach over and make that catch. And Thompson 0 for 2 already today. That's not what we expected to see from him. So Rosales has got to be feeling pretty good, and he gets the ground out. Hazard tosses awkwardly over to first, but Luna's able to make a good play, tosses back to Hazard for out number 3 on the double play. And if you're a Thumpers fan, you hate to see it, right? But the Overdogs are really seeming to have made some solid adjustments against this pitching, or against this offensive team, and it has proven to be successful so far. So I don't know what the manager said, what Overcooked Toast said to his team after that last game, but whatever it was, it clicked for them, and they're starting to figure it out to see if they can make something happen on offense now. But Ventura is not going to let it happen the way he's been pitching today, as he gets another strikeout. And now we wrap around to the top of the order for the Overdogs, and Finley Pickles comes up. Still tense. The right fielder's trying to figure things out, and he puts a charge into that one, and it goes just foul over in left field. And he swings at strike 2 after he did steal a sign from the battery mates there. And that ball fouls out of play too. So 1-2 count with one out. Off-speed pitch coming, and it's just inside for a ball. And he swings at that one, fighting off another pitch. Ooh, and he swings foolishly through strike 3 on a ball that was just below the zone. It dipped out. I think that was that elite slider activated there. And Finley Pickles had a chance, but was not able to make anything work. So here comes Franklin Lancaster, who did get a base hit his first time. He charges into that one, and that's just foul the right field line, almost identical to what Finley Pickles did, and he ends up getting the same result with another strikeout. So Ventura struck out the side there, and the Thumpers, at some point, something's going to break here for these two teams. Which pitcher is going to make the first mistake, and one of these batters is going to sort things out. As Rosales comes up, he is locked in at this point, and the pressure's starting to get a little bit higher, so we're going to see those mojo changes have a bigger impact. And that ball, Archie lines right to third base for out number 1. And here comes Ginger, who went 0 for 1 in her first at-bat. She does have Ace Exterminator still activated here. Takes strike 1, swings through strike 2, and takes a ball high just at the top of the zone. Rosales really wanted her to chase there. She chases that one, but is able to get a piece of it. Pops that one foul. Both of these offenses have been really making the pitchers work for their outs. And swings at that one, grounds to second base, easy toss to first for out number 2. Again, Maxton Myers has that first pitch slayer, so will this be where Rosales makes his first mistake? And he keeps that ball out of the zone. Pretty good idea for him to be careful there. Now down 2-0 against Myers. Now 3-0 against Myers. Ball, or that he was taking all the way for that strike, and that ball goes right between his leg, betwixt his legs, there on the mound, and goes straight into center field. Love these names when they work out in situations like that. And so we get another runner for the Thumpers, and now we get, with 2 outs, back over to Joe Tent, who struck out in his last at-bat. He needs to get out of his head if he's going to play a pivotal role on this team and in this tournament. He's now down 1-2. And Rosales is still locked in, and that ball goes right up the middle, just past a leaning Rosales who's not able to get his glove down in time. So now 2 runners on for Vip Austin, who got a single in his last at-bat, is still locked in. And again, with that pressure being higher, that mojo impact is even more significant, as now that power and speed are over maxed out. But he's currently down 0-2 in the count, takes a ball low in the zone, and swings through a really awful pitch on the outside part of the plate, and Rosales is able to settle in, at least for a moment, to get that third out with 2 runners on. So he was able to stop the rally, even though that's not one of his primary characteristics. Now, last game, Skyla Luna was able to make the adjustment for the second at-bat against Wishwash. See if she's able to do the same against Ventura here. 2-1 count. Fights that one off, now 2-2. And she fouls that one off again. This is his 50th pitch in this outing for Ventura. And he gets another strikeout, and Luna is pissed. She knows that she had that pitch, and she just, I don't know, she pulled her head. I think it maybe looked a little bit bigger than she thought it was. And she swings right through it for strike 3. And Ventura, even though he's starting to get up there in his pitch count, he's still pitching a heck of a game now. 1-2 count against Hazard. That ball goes foul. 2-2 count here, 1 out. And that ball gets it in on his hands, and it lazily bloops over to Tent for out number 2 there at second base. So Twosome Reed has not had a great series yet, batting .250, and we'll see. Oh, as I say that, he's able to find that first pitch and put it into right field for a base hit. So with 2 outs, can the Overdogs find an opportunity to rally? This is one of their best players in these situations. When you need her, Ellie usually shows up, so we'll see if she can do that here. Find a mistake pitch from Ventura and make him pay for it. That ball's low in the zone. Hits the dirt. That ball just catches the bottom of the zone for strike 2. Fouls off a pitch there. And she fights off another low pitch in the zone. I think that one was out of the zone. Takes ball 2, so she's being patient. She's being protective. And now the count is full, so the runner will be going. Fouls off that pitch, so we're up to 66 pitches for Ventura. Runner's going again. That ball grounds to Tent. Tent tosses to Myers, out number 3, and they're able to get out of that one. But I don't know how either of these pitchers will fare for the rest of this game, and I think we might be looking at the point in which we consider making a change into the bullpen for both teams. Rosales is still locked in, and he gets a boost from Easy Target. It's a very small boost, but it's a boost to his accuracy. So even though he's getting gassed as well, he's getting that locked in plus Easy Target advantage. And Francesca Brown, I think she came into this game feeling real arrogant after what happened in game 1, and she's been kind of made to look very foolish today. And now we're in extreme pressure situation in the 5th. And that ball, Alex Hazard dives for it, knocks it down, gets past him, and they're not able to get to the runner in time. And so that's an infield single. I don't think we consider that to be an error, as he made a good play on a difficult ball. So here comes Thompson. Again, every time he's up, I'm going to be anxious to see what he does, but he quickly goes down 0-2. And he grounds that ball just past the second baseman for another base hit, back-to-back hits with one out. And that boosts Thompson's mojo as well. So here comes Ryan Goodwin, 1 for 2 today. And finally, they pull Rosales for Cardoso Hill, who has reverse split. So you can see that power and contact completely plummet for Ryan Goodwin. And that it doesn't matter as he's able to get that ball up the middle, and Howard gets it in quickly. So now with one out, bases are loaded. Quick note on Hill, he was actually drafted in the 11th round as an A-tier pitcher. Only has 2 pitches, the fastball and the curveball, but with that reverse splits, he's able to do a lot of damage. And do we see Archie make him pay? That ball gets out, and we see another grand slam from the Thumpers as Archibald Sormore. Archie's able to hit that one 359, and that was what he needed to break out of this slump. And maybe that's Hill with the disadvantage of 2 pitches that they're able to kind of guess pretty easily. But what a huge turn of events here in the 5th inning as the Thumpers are finally able to break it open with a grand slam with one out. And Hill's going to have to try and fight through this one. Now, Ginger Munster is kind of offsetting that reverse splits with her own ace exterminator, but it is going to make it more difficult for her to make contact with the ball. Wild that that reverse splits kind of did not have an impact on the outcome of both of the batters that Hill had faced prior to getting the ground out to second there. So now with 2 outs, can he get Maxton Myers out? This was the best time to bring in Hill, as he did have to face all lefties in the lineup back to back, as this is his 4th consecutive lefty. And boy, that's really unfortunate. He gets the ground to Hazard. Hazard races to the bag, gets there in time for out number 3. But look at that. We see that in the 5th inning, the Thumpers are able to figure something out with this Overdogs pitching staff, and they were able to get that grand slam after a couple of consecutive base hits to get the bases loaded. So Ventura's still on the mound for the Thumpers, and he's locked in, but his attributes are starting to go down. That ball grounds out to Bullseye, her first chance, and she tosses easily to first for out number 1. Again, I'm not sure why the pressure is at high instead of extreme, but this is where they opt to take Ventura out and bring in Urkel Henry. Urkel getting his first appearance of the tournament. And that ball gets blasted. Malachi Fleshman puts a charge into that, but it just gets to the edge of the warning track, and Austin's easily able to chase that down for out number 2. As we look at Urkel Henry, he is a specialist. He was drafted in the 7th round. He also gets ahead. So as a lefty specialist, he will be able to discount the ratings of those left-handed batters. And that ball grounds to third, over to first. 1-2-3 inning for the Overdogs, and you can't afford to have that happen if you're the Overdogs heading into the 6th inning here. We start with Joe Tent, who, again, with reverse splits activated against him, he essentially has no contact rating whatsoever, and power is just average at this point. He swings through strike 2 on a 1-2 count. See what he does. And he swings through strike 3. So Hill, he's excited, but you gave up a grand slam not too long ago. So I feel like a little bit of reading the room here, buddy. And here comes Vip Austin. He's been having a really great series. Still locked in, and we'll see. He's a righty, so we don't see his traits being debuffed by that reverse splits trait. 3-1 count. Swings at that one and it gets a base hit to right field. And we now see another scenario in which Austin may try and get himself moving for to get a runner into scoring position. But instead, we see that Hill comes out and Bentley Porpetta will come in against Francesca Brown, who again has easy targets, so that gives them an advantage. Fleshman, holy moly, do not run on Malachi Fleshman, as he was able to get the locked in Vip Austin easily at second base, even with his speed over 100. So they're able to get out of the inning as Francesca Brown grounds out to third. But again, in the heading into the bottom of the sixth here, the Overdogs have a lot of work to do, and here you can see what specialist looks like as Pickles grounds out to Bullseye, over to Myers for out number one. And here you can see what Max extreme pressure looks like with that clutch trait. It boosts his attributes pretty high, and this is a good time to utilize that clutch trait. We'll see if he's able to figure something out here, Lancaster, against Urkel Henry. And that ball goes right back up the middle for a base hit. And the Overdogs have something going here with one out. We've seen crazier things happen. And we get to the three batter, who is Skyla Luna, 0 for 2 today. She is batting 200 for the series so far in these two games. So she needs to figure something out. The team really is depending on her success for this tournament to stay alive. And she gets a bloop base hit to Austin, who has the speed but was not able to get to that in time. And we now find ourselves with 2 on, 1 out, and Alex Hazard comes up in a max pressure situation. But again, Specialist is activated. And so they turn to Bowen Potter, who did not do much in his first at-bat last game, but he does have his traits activated with Pinch Perfect and Power versus left-handers activated. And that ball goes up the middle. Bullseye is able to get to it in time with a diving play right up the middle, getting the out at first for the second out of the game, and she gets a mojo boost as well. So with 2 outs, runners in scoring position, Tusum Reed got a base hit in his last at-bat. Can he do it again? And that ball lines straight to Myers, who catches it right off the ground for out number 3. So the Thumpers take the second game in the series, and it was all on one big play from the Thumpers, that grand slam from Archibald Sormore, that 5th inning. They really kind of just broke it open. Now, they were getting hits all day, but they were not able to kind of piece them together until that 5th inning. So we see Thompson, who we expected to have a bigger game, only went 1 for 3 today. He did get that hit in the 5th inning to contribute to one of those runs. Goodwin went 2 for 3 today. He had a decent day. He was on base during that grand slam. Sormore, 1 hit, but it's a big one. He gets the grand slam. Maybe that's what breaks him out of the funk to kind of join the hit parade for the Thumpers for the rest of the series. You see Munster went 0 for 3. You see Brown went 0 for 3. They both had pretty rough games. Joe Tent did get a base hit, but he also struck out twice. Myers got a single. Vip Austin got 2 hits. They didn't do too much else other than that. And then Bullseye, 2 for 2 there at the bottom of the order. One of those hits was in that 5th inning. On the Overdog side, they have to figure something out. They got 5 hits. That was it. 2 from Lancaster. Luna got that base hit there in the 6th inning. They weren't able to make anything happen with that. You see Reed, Howard both got a base hit as well, but everyone else hitless today. Pickles, Hazard, Rasmussen, Fleshman, Jaramillo, no hits for them. Potter comes in pinch hitting with his Pinch Perfect and doesn't do anything with that either. Tough game for the Overdogs, and a tough game for Betwixt Rosales, who pitched really well, but maybe he stayed in a little too long. Maybe it was just a matter of making one too many mistakes, but we'll take a look at the Overdogs first. Rosales going 4 1/3 inning with 7 hits, 2 earned runs, and 4 strikeouts. He gets the loss. Cardoso Hill, he probably deserves the loss after what he did. He went in one inning, gave up 3 hits and 2 earned runs. All of them were on that grand slam. He also struck out one. And Bentley Porpetta came in perfect in his third inning, but it was too little too late at that point. For the Thumpers, Les Ventura had a hell of a game. Um, he really held up for really kind of followed the lead of Bruce Wishwash in that first game. He goes 4 1/3 with only 3 hits given up and 8 strikeouts. So he had a really great game. Urkel Henry came in for the last inning in 2/3, only giving up 2 hits. So the Thumpers really starting to show their dominance over the Overdogs, but you would consider the Overdogs to be the underdog in this series right now, and they're going to have to work really hard to catch back up in this series. Archibald Sormore gets your player of the game. He gets 1 hit, but it was the grand slam. Les Ventura, player number 2, with that 4 1/3, 3 hits, 8 Ks. And betwixt Rosales, who did pitch a really great game for the Overdogs, player number 3, with 4 1/3 innings, giving up 7 hits, 2 earned runs, and 4 Ks. So that's your Thumpers versus Overdogs game today. We're heading into the late stages of this tournament now already, as these are 5 game tournaments. So the Thumpers could clinch it with another victory in their next time out. The Overdogs are going to have to turn the tables here and sweep the rest of these games, as they're now heading to the Bingata Bowl to face the Thumpers for these next 2 games, I believe. So we'll see if they can figure something out. They're definitely going to have to make some adjustments. And in the next game, we're going to see the Arctics play the Prowl once again. We'll see if the Arctics can make some adjustments after their 2-0 loss to the Prowl. Look forward to seeing you all in that one again. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can follow along with this tournament. Hope you're having a good time. Please let me know some of your favorite moments from this series so far. Let me know some of your favorite players. Appreciate all of you watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.